We are
Curtis Jackson,
Jayden Allen. We play defensive back from
Fountain Fort-Carson.
We are the class of 2022, and you are listening to Playmakers
Playmakers
Corner.
Corners. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, welcome back to the Playmakers Corner podcast, and we have some very special guests today. We're jumping back into interviews. This is our first interview of the season following the Josh Bates one, but this one's going to be a little different because we have a couple of players at the same time from our top 5 list. And if you guys would like to introduce yourself, what position you play, what school you played for, and what class you're in.
Me, Curtis Lee Jackson III, Fountain Fort-Carson, class 2022.
What's up, guys? I'm Jayden Allen, class of 2022, safety, and I play corner at Fountain Fort-Carson High School.
Yes, sir, and they are both, members of our top 5 cornerback list here. If you haven't listened to that, go ahead and give a listen for a full breakdown on their game, which we will be talking about here shortly. But before we get into the nitty-gritty details of football, I just want to ask you guys, what's your favorite sports experience or memory while playing? This could be a specific play, this could be a specific game, or, this could even be outside of football. I think Arden Walker, he talked about like a basketball memory, but just any memory while playing in sports that, you think of, playing sports and you just think straight to that.
I got to say my pick 6 from my junior year when Jayden tackled him. I got the pick 6. Probably the best one I got.
I was going to say the same thing. Me and CJ been playing together for quite a bit. So when we made that play, it's just like, I guess that was the first time that me and him actually really played, in the secondary, same side, same situation, and we made a big play together. So that's my brother, so we made a big play. So I always think of that play too.
And I'm pretty sure we saw that on both of your highlight reels. So, it was a fun play to watch for both Coach V and myself. So, and I guess kind of speaking on that, what was your guys' reaction to our evaluation of your game, whether it was things that you agreed with, maybe things that you didn't agree with, and kind of, what it was like listening to a podcast about your game and just your, football career at Fountain Fort-Carson.
I thought it was pretty good. And I like how y'all said he gets interceptions and all that. One thing I disagree is I catch any interception, even if it's not even on the tip pass. I mean, that's the only thing. But it was pretty good after that. I like it.
Yeah, I respect the evaluation, putting my versatility in there. I play a lot of spots, on the defense and the secondary. I respect it. Only thing I have is, the physical part. I'm a pretty physical guy if you watch the whole tape. But this year and last year, that was a lot of my tape. I've been nursing the shoulder injury, and I'm going to get an MRI. So, like, next week, I was just at the doctor today, and he just got my referral to go get an MRI. So, I felt like that hindered me a little bit, but I'm a pretty physical guy if it comes to it.
And that's why we love to have you on the show because, you kind of get to talk your truth and say things that we didn't know, like, we didn't know about the whole shoulder thing, and we're glad that you're finally getting that checked out, and just kind of stating your case here and just giving that open space because, we're receptive to, feedback and stuff like that, and it helps us and it helps the next players after you guys. So we appreciate you talking on that. And, you talked about how that one play with the tackle that leads to a pick 6 is, you guys both hold that very dear to yourself, and you guys are brothers, off and on the field. And I guess we were curious on, like, did you guys kind of start football at the same time? And, like, how has playing football been a positive impact, not only for, on the field chemistry, but for your guys' friendship off the field? And just kind of talk us through your guys' friendship and journey as students, friends, and high-level football players.
Well, me and Jay have been playing football since, like, probably 3rd or 4th grade. We had that chemistry when we were, like, little. So we know, like, what we like and we know what he likes. So we know how to, like, communicate well. To be honest, I knew Jayden, and he's a beast on the field. But off the field, our chemistry is a lot stronger than on the field. He's always at our house. I'm always at his house. We always hang out. We're always together. Where we go, we hang out together. So every time we hang out, it's always get stronger. So.
Yeah, actually, in second grade, me and CJ started playing together. So, we've been playing together. His dad been my coach since I was little. That's like my dad. So, me and CJ, yeah, we run deep with each other. We basically, brothers. And me and CJ got chemistry. Y'all watch, the Washington game when Payne and Allen was fighting. Me and CJ done got into fights on the field, and next play, we laughing and joking with each other. But that's just on the field, but off the field, we like brothers. They say we a package deal, so if you come with him, you got to come with me too. So, yeah, that's my real deal brother.
Hey, that's awesome to hear, and that's we could suspect things like that, but hearing you guys talk about it and just hearing the passion and the love that you guys share for football, and just as brothers, like you said, that's something really special, and we appreciate you guys sharing that. So. Now I'm going to pass it over to Simon and talk about, some in-game experiences and program experiences that you guys have also gotten to share and further evaluation on that.
Yeah, honestly, I loved hearing that. It's very obvious that y'all are super close. Not just y'all, but I mean everyone in that secondary over at Fountain Fort-Carson, because honestly, y'all had some very big signature games these last 2 years. I'm including this last season and the COVID season. But just to name off a couple quarterbacks here that y'all got some, interceptions and turnovers against, gave some trouble here. But last year, of course, y'all played Braden Dorman. He's a 4-star quarterback, top 10 in the entire country, by the way. And y'all gave him a lot of troubles. That was probably his most difficult game to watch because you could tell he just wasn't. I mean, he was just a young guy, right? And so y'all took advantage of that and did y'all's thing there. In the semifinal game, I want to say right before state, in the playoffs last year, y'all also went up against 3-star quarterback and our number 1 rated senior quarterback from last year, Luke McAllister of Palmer Ridge. There were some times that he looked a little bit flustered out there. He was trying some guys deep, and we know all about the receivers they had at Palmer Ridge, including Anthony Costanzo, who was our number 1 safety this year. Could have been our number 1 receiver this year if we really wanted to rank him there. Caden Dudley as well. They had a whole bunch of dudes over there on that Palmer Ridge team, and y'all kept it pretty close. That defense of y'all's, y'all balled out. That was a very close game, and that was a game that I wish I was physically at, but I wasn't able to go because of COVID and all that. And so I watched that one live as it was happening, and that really impressed me and put me on to y'all. And then more recently this year, y'all did play Jazo Riley, the 4th from Golden. He is not ranked, but he's definitely somebody who should be. He's probably a 3-star, 4-star guy. I know Florida State is really trying to recruit him here. And, leading into that playoff game, I'm not even going to lie. We did pick him because he was kind of the hot hand and whatnot. We knew about y'all's defense, but we were like, yeah, we'll see if he could do something against y'all. And y'all proved us wrong. And pretty much forced us. I felt like we had to because I wanted to put some respect on y'all's name, but forced us to really give y'all an apology, which we don't do. And we're probably not going to do again. But that was an extremely impressive game. Y'all gave him a lot of trouble. There's nowhere to go with the ball. And that's nothing on JR4 or anything like that. There's just nowhere to go with the ball. If he wanted to, he could have forced it, in some places here or there, but that might have been an interception or just another pass deflection here. And so y'all really did a good job there. But I wanted to ask y'all, what was it like playing against, some of the elite quarterbacks, not only in the state, but in the country? And what was it like preparing against those kind of quarterbacks?
Preparing for the quarterbacks that we played against, we were all tough on practice. Like, we make sure we had, the right coverage, the right draw step and all that to make sure we break on the ball when we see it, to not look in the backfield, to make sure that we know how to go get the ball and play our game. Our coaches even pushed us because he knows how good we are, so he made it better by pushing us in every step of the game. But there's some good quarterbacks, and it was just good to play them, get some turnovers and all that, but it was really good preparing for them and knowing what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, our coaches, put in great game plans. They let us, play a lot. They don't really put in too much, difficult coverage-wise. But, one thing about us, we're going to get, a lot of pressure in the quarterback space. So that just creates a lot of, opportunities in the back half for us. So, A lot of credit to that. But, we just go into games. We're not really worried about no quarterback, no receivers like that. We just play our ball. We're not worried about nobody like that. And I think that shows a lot that we go to toe-to-toe with any 4-star, 3-star, any ranked quarterback, and we shut them down for the most part. But even with, you got 3-star, 4-stars, and you got receivers, they going to get a couple plays. So we just try to minimize those. Sometimes, they pop big and, we get late in the game and it's hard to make up for them. So, yeah.
Hey, man, fair enough. And, honestly, y'all's chemistry was unreal. And, for your coaches to allow you to just play y'all's game, that was big, and obviously there's a lot of credit that goes to y'all as well, because y'all did play fantastic games, as good as any. I probably haven't seen as good DB play like that against, that much talent in a really long time, probably since I was over in Texas, if I'm being completely honest with you, because y'all was just on top of it. There's really, truly nowhere to go. And, I'm not going to lie. I'm gonna make this comment here because I feel like we need to address it. But we did have a lot of, little TikTok and social media comments and messages being like, oh, they're overrated. Like, well, what's a couple good games? And, because we're media, we can't exactly go out there and like swing back at him. But honestly, y'all deserved y'all's ranking, and maybe even a little bit higher. If y'all played on different squads, y'all definitely, each of you would have been number one corners on probably 70 to 80% of the teams in Colorado, if I'm being honest with you, because that's how talented y'all are. And for all of y'all to play on the same team, that's next level, And so with that being said, kind of moving on here, I want to ask y'all this question, but in y'all's opinion, what are 2 or 3 qualities that really separated that Fountain Fort-Carson defense from other defenses around the state or even the country? And this includes your position group as well.
I would definitely have to say our speed. Our speed with the DBs is ridiculous. We got LJ, top 2, 3 fastest kid in Colorado. Me and Jayden speed, we have that speed, and then Miles, he has that speed and he has that length to go get the ball. Really, it's about our chemistry. We practice together, we play together, and we try to compete against each other. Who get the most picks? Who can go make the most tackles? So that's really our speed that separates everybody, and that's our communication. It's our competitiveness to go see who's the better corner. So we all make sure we still play our game, but we also want to see who's the best out of all of us.
Yeah, I agree with CJ, but, I think it all starts with our guy in the middle, Todd Father. Y'all probably know a lot about him. I think it all starts with him. He gets us, in the calls, in the sets, and, just the way he plays, it makes us all play. And I got to give it to him. We all trying to beat Ty to the tackle because Ty's going to be there first. So, that just pushes everybody to go hard. And, one thing I say about our defense is we know that we always going to be the heart of our team, whether offense is playing good, playing bad, we bring the energy to the team. If we're having a down practice, if the defense is in our feelings, the practice is going to be terrible. If we up, we live, the practice is going to be great. And that just translates to game day. The defense, we always going to be the loudest. We're going to be talking the most. We always going to be wearing the freshest gear. So I think we just carried a lot of swag on the defense, And, that's something that you got to have playing defense because, you're going to have bad plays, but how do you, get up from that? So I think that's just one thing about us. And, we all just, some dogs. We all trying to make the play. So once you got a whole bunch of guys trying to make the play, sometimes it hurts you, but then you just creating a lot of, havoc, a lot of people getting to the ball. And I think that's one thing that we do great.
Absolutely. No, y'all's defense is definitely one of the, I would say, main staples and cultures, one of the stronger football cultures here in Colorado. I think when people look at, y'all on the schedule, they know, all right, no matter what, Fountain Fort-Carson is going to play us tough on defense. They might even score a couple of times, too. So that's something that you got to take serious. And, we knew about that going into the season. I want to say in our season preview, we mentioned y'all as a dark horse team. Y'all are always solid on defense and definitely a threat moving forward here. And so that's a big culture thing, honestly. And so speaking of the program and the culture, let's talk about the Fountain Fort-Carson program as a whole. These last couple of years, y'all have been really successful here. Last year in the COVID season, y'all went 6-2, did come just a game short of state, and then y'all went 10-2, I want to say, this last year for a total of 16-4. Y'all did unfortunately lose to Montrose, but that's still kind of a deep playoff run. I just want to ask y'all about the program as a whole, talking about coaches, players, the culture as well, if y'all want to expand on that. But what are some things that really separates this Fountain Fort-Carson program from other programs in the state and country?
To me, I believe it's the fans. When we go out there, they're always loud, no matter how bad it is, no matter what's the score. They always tell us to keep pushing. They always make sure we're going hard. And then the coaches, at the same point, they never let us down. I mean, sometimes we have bad practices, but then they tell us it's just a bad practice, get better, and we have tomorrow to fix it. And really, the program, I feel like it's our teachers. The teachers really do help us a lot. The teachers help us make sure we get our work turned in, make sure we're on the field, make sure we do all the things, and then as the players, and then everybody that comes out, for the little kids to the grown-ups, they always there to support us and make sure we're always good and make sure we're always doing something right.
I mean, yeah, one weird thing, I don't think y'all know, but me and CJ actually, transferred into Fountain, so we were going to be a part of the culture. So I'm actually a Fountain native, so I grew up in Fountain, going, as a little peewee kid, going to the games and, knowing the culture a little bit. So my freshman year, I was at Palmer, it was I grew up winning. One thing about me and CJ's little league team, bro, we were some winners. So it was hard. We went 1-9 that year. I think my brother, he was there. My freshman year, he was a senior. So I think that year he won a second game and we beat Mitchell. So it was just hard. So, me and CJ both, transferred, sophomore year to Fountain. CJ didn't get to play varsity, his sophomore year. I did. By the grace of God, I skipped past Chassa. Chassa is a different level when it comes to them transfers. But, the culture is great at Fountain. You ain't going to find nothing else like that. You're not going to find nothing else like it. You're not going to find fans that come out support, a community that supports, the football team like that. You ain't going to find another nicer stadium, south of I-25 like ours. So, it's just a great culture. You got kids, that love each other. We're a military school, so we know, what every kid is going through with that. So we just got a lot of, culture and family around us here at Fountain.
Hey, no, I feel that. I like how y'all both mentioned the fans and then obviously the stadium as well. Let me put some respect on that stadium. I think I did on our story, but it's nice. I didn't know Fountain had it like that because I played over at Doherty, and so I know all about Palmer's program and when I have some friends who went there, and that's unfortunate that their program just hasn't quite found that footing yet. For a while now, actually, for a couple of decades now, but Fountain Fort-Carson has really emerged as that. Kind of as that program in school, a very solid program in school down south over there that's been growing and that's been taking in great players like y'all. And, y'all stadium is extremely nice. And it's y'all's stadium too. Y'all don't have to share with nobody, I don't think. Is that right? Just want to make sure.
No, we don't share with no one. No, it's just us. Okay. This is our stadium.
Lucky, man. Oh, my gosh. If only I had a stadium to myself playing high school football, that just sounds nice. That's the good life. Especially here in Colorado where everyone has to share, basically.
For real. Especially in the springs. I don't know why they do that. D20 and D11. I am calling them out. But no, y'all stadium is nice. And, I think it definitely goes to show that there's something about playing for pride out there, when you have a community that supports you, when you have your own stadium, not just your own stadium, but probably arguably a top 3 stadium in the entire state of Colorado. And yeah, y'all's fan base is something else. I really enjoyed the atmosphere at that playoff game. It's, it's something to build upon. And I think that says a lot about y'all's program moving forward. But, with that being said, I'm going to ask you one last question about y'all's program before we kind of talk about some other things here. But, obviously, y'all are seniors, y'all are graduating this year. But, what are some guys to know about on this Fountain Fort-Carson team that, might be the future for next year and in the following seasons? What are some guys we should know about here?
I mean, to start off, you always got Ty Falvey. You know, she class 2023. You know, he's gonna be a beast next year, most definitely. And then really, I feel like you got Tavian Tooley, that quarterback. He's getting better every year, and I feel like this year he's going to be way better than what everybody thinks and what everybody says, and he's going to do way better than the comments or whatever the haters say. Then our wide receivers, Darian and Keenan, they stepped up this year, helping us with the main roles, the wide receiver core. And then I feel like it's going to be the running back, K. Smith. He's going to be a beast this year too, as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ty gonna do his thing. We all know about Ty. We call him the hair. Once you see the hair, you know who he is. Ty, you got, Josiah in the tight end. Once he catches the ball, go look at his yards after catch. Go look at the stats. A lot of people want to hate on Fountain, but, no one wants to look at the defense and be like, we had a turnover every game. No one wants to look at that stat. Show me another team that has a turnover every game. But, a lot of people on our defense, you got Madrid, you got a lot of, AJ, he's Q's cousin. So he's on the right and narrow. So that kid is going to be nice. He's only a sophomore. He started on our defense. So it was a big part. So, you look at him, he's going to be nice. Tavian too, once he becomes a little more comfortable, he's going to be a dog. Look at how much he progressed and how much he's able to run the ball now. Go look at that before y'all start hating on, Fountain and stuff. But, you got a lot of kids down there, but, no one wants to come and look at our kids and, see what we have to offer, and they want to hate on us talking about we overrated, but want to stay up here north, north of I-25 and then don't want to come look at our kids and, no one knows about us.
Hey, that's facts, man. I mean, they're going to figure it out eventually, and I actually want to talk about Tavion Tooley just real quick here before we move on here. I was personally really impressed with how far he's come because last year he gave the ball off to Q Jones a lot, which is not, I mean, Q is Q. We had him on the show and he was an absolute beast. So I understand that. This year, he made some really good, progressions and upgrades moving forward, especially in that playoff game. He threw a couple really nice deep balls that were impressive. And so he's somebody that we definitely got our radar on. And, as a squad in general, I mean, Fountain Fort-Carson is going to stay tough, and so we'll keep that in mind for sure. And I think, our listeners better be paying attention as well because y'all aren't just going to disappear. But with that being said, this is probably, I guess, the last kind of high schoolish question here. But, both of y'all obviously participated with Team Full Gorilla. For the listeners who don't know who Team Full Gorilla is, they're the premier 7-on-7 football team here in Colorado. The best in Colorado try out, and then they travel with them. Pretty much all expenses are paid except for uniforms, I want to say. We've talked personally to the Team Full Gorilla coaches. We met them at multiple games. They're great dudes. But, obviously you both participated with TFG. I just want to ask you, how did they elevate your game and prepare you for each season of high school football here?
To be honest, Jayden was the one that helped me get the Team Full Gorilla. I didn't know nothing about Team Full Gorilla. And then Jayden said, you should join the 7-on-7 team. So, I went to tryouts. But the thing that helps me a lot is, those are the best kids in Colorado. Those are the best wide receivers, linebackers, quarterback, corners, all that. And so, going against them every week, every day, it makes you know what your technique is, how many yards you got to go, how far your back pedal got to be. And then the coaches, Coach D, he really helped me. But it was really just traveling across the world, seeing other kids' opponents, and just facing them and becoming better, and just going against the best. And just know if you want to be the best, you got to go against the best. So that was probably the best 7-on-7 Team for Gorilla I will ever be part of.
Yeah, obviously, you're going against, the best kids out there. Anthony played for him, Kodey on the team. A lot of kids that y'all put on the list just for corners. I don't know if y'all came out with receivers yet, but a lot of kids that y'all put on the corners list is on the team. So that just speaks, highly, how much they do. But even with that, I'm obviously see you guys talk about the talent, but I'm gonna just talk about, mentally. Mentally you're gonna go to, Pylon. I don't know if y'all ever been to a Pylon camp. You go to, Mile High Shootout. We the best team in, Colorado, 7-on-7 team. I don't care what C. Wild talking about. I don't care what Premier talking about. I don't care what no other team talking about. We the best. Some teams don't even want to play us in Colorado because they don't want to lose that, argument that they the best, but they don't play us. But, confidence-wise, you playing the best kids. You going against 5 stars that committed to Alabama, at these tournaments. You got kids committed to LSU. You got an old lineman that's committed to, I think he was committed to I think he was going to LSU too, and he's out there getting his. But, that just helps with your confidence too, especially playing DB. They throwing the ball 100% of the time. They're going to get a good catch, a good moss, and, just going to tournaments, going to practice too. That just builds your confidence, next play mentality, But even with that, Team Full Gorilla helps a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I'd have to agree. The best of the best go there, and until proven otherwise, that's just kind of how it is. And well, I don't know when this interview is gonna drop. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but we, as in Kodey and myself and our other co-host Mason, are definitely going to be hitting those Team Full Gorilla tryouts here in a couple of weeks and checking that out, because that's just a great opportunity to get exposed as well. I would imagine, obviously you're competing against the best talent in the country, but you're also competing against some of the best in the state as well. I'm sure y'all probably went 1-on-1 with Terrence Ferguson, who's over at Oregon right now getting snaps at as a freshman, actually, I'm pretty sure.
I'll tell a funny story about Terrence.
Yeah, go for it.
Terrence, that's my guy. And one thing about, me is I'm like one-on-ones. I love him 7-on-7. I'm going to be the loudest. I'm going to be talking the most, junk. But Terrence, man, he really got me. He's the one that really, humbled. First one I ever met at TFG. And he was the one that really humbled. I think I picked him off, first rep, ever going against him. Luke threw the ball, and I, picked him off. It was, a little cover two, and I, baited him to throw it. I picked him off. We were at, some 7-on-7. It was, his team against mine. And he was just bossing me dirty, 3 times. But, Terrence, that's going to be a dog, too. And he's so, bro is huge. Y'all should see him in person. Bro is, pretty huge.
No, oh my God. Hey, Terrence Ferguson's that dude, man. There's a reason why he's, getting the reps he is getting over at Oregon, right now. And even last year, not even last year, the past couple of years, he's a dog for sure. But no, I got you, man. That's funny. But I mean, if it's anybody, it's Terrence Ferguson. He might be one of the best receivers to come out of Colorado in recent history, to be completely real with you. But I got you. All right, then. Well, hey, I'm going to go ahead and kind of swing this back to Kodey. He has a couple more questions about y'all's future, and I'm sure he has some comments about that as well.
Yeah, I appreciate the TFG stories and, Terrence Ferguson, and the humility you have in telling that, because if that was me, I probably wouldn't talk about it. So I respect that for sure. And just a testament to the talent that you guys get to face over there. I mean, good Lord, the majority of our top cornerback list was Team Full Gorilla guys, the Caden Rulos, the Dante Capolongos, you two as well. So, shout out to Team Full Gorilla for just pumping that much talent and into the state of Colorado and improving you guys and taking that to a national scale and bringing it back here to Colorado. And then I just got to mention, I don't think we've had any other high school interview talk about how important their fans are to their program. So, I just wanted to shout out the Fountain program, and you brought that up and it kind of jogged my memory a little bit. Mason and I actually attended your guys' game against Mesa Ridge, and those boys at Mesa Ridge, it felt like you guys had home field advantage on the road because your guys' fans were so loud. There was one guy with a blowhorn that was going crazy, and he was cracking me up on that Fountain side. So, great fan base, and I have to agree with you guys. And, we need more fan bases like that in Colorado. I think just in general, a lot of people, they don't block off their Friday nights for Colorado football, even though it's must-watch football, especially with talent like you guys. So, come on, Colorado, get to it. But anyways, talking about you guys and the national talent you guys have faced, we said it on our episode ourselves. We think you guys are Division I football players, pretty clear cut and dry. And, we kind of looked through your Twitter and, we disagree with the lack of offers and stuff. And we just kind of want to ask you guys, how the recruiting journey has been for y'all, and I guess just kind of what kind of tools have been available to you, and then kind of what things you would say haven't been as accessible, and, you know, some things that you might have changed, you know, prior to the recruiting journey that might have changed a little bit now that you're on, you know, kind of in the thick of it, I would say.
You know, truly, it's been a little difficult. You being a senior, you haven't got any offers yet. Still talking to coaches, but I mean, it's God's plan. When God wants to give me an offer, He's gonna give me an offer. I'm not really stressing over it. It's God's plan, but I wish I just knew about the recruiting a lot my junior year, because I didn't really know how to get your name out there, and then I really see film. But when I started seeing the film, it was already the start of football season. So I mean, but I'm not really mad about it. I mean, I know God's got me an offer soon. I know He's got me. So I mean, I'm just waiting for the offer. But it's been a little difficult. But I'm still having patience and just ready for that offer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed. I'm not gonna say, you know, recruiting's bad for me. I got eight offers, something like that right now. You know, a lot of NAIA, D2, D3. But you know, recruiting's starting to blow up a little bit for me. I'm not gonna say really blow it up like a lot of kids, you know, but you know, recruiting's hard, man. I ain't gonna say it's easy, man. It's a real stressful deal, man. Every day you question yourself, am I really good enough? You know, is this really what I want to, you know, do for the next 4 or 5 years of my life? But you know, it's something I really want to do, something I'm really passionate about. And, you know, just something I wish I knew was just how much you really got to be at these camps, you know, DMing, emailing coaches every day, even if they don't answer, you know, hit them up you know, the next day and the next day till they answer. You know, a lot of these coaches are getting thousands on thousands of emails. And, you know, you just got to know, in the recruiting business, you know, there's another kid out there that's, you know, faster than you, might be stronger than you, might got more stats than you. So, you know, what are you going to bring that's, you know, different than that kid? Because, you know, their portfolio might be better than yours. So, you know, what are your grades looking like? So, you know, that's something I do. You know, I got 3.43 cumulative GPA, probably going to be a 3.6 now since we just finished this semester. So, you know, I'm pretty up there with my grades. So, you know, what on that part of your grades, you know, that's a big thing too, you know. But I wish I just knew how much you got to be at these camps and get on campus, because, you know, January is coming now. You know, the next signing day is February, and that's when a lot of coaches, I feel you know, are just stressing me out about, you know, committing. You know, then January is when all the visits are coming around. So it's some coaches might not get, you know, me on the campus. So, you know, what is that going to be like to them? You know, what's the attitude going to be towards me? So, you know, a lot of that too. And you don't want to, you know, offend any coaches, because you always want to keep, you know, what do they call it? You know, just keep your network, because you never know what might happen. You know, like I said with my shoulder, they might find out about my shoulder and be like, yeah, bro, we need to pull your scholarship. So, you know, recruiting's a business, man. You know, it's more than just a business. You know, it's gritty out here. So, you know, if you want to really do this, man, you really got to have some, you know, some talks with yourself, talks with your family. And yeah.
And we appreciate the insight and the advice, because, you know, it's all about helping the next guys have it a little bit easier. You know, that's kind of the same philosophy that parents operate on. You know, they want it easier for their kids. We want it easier for each generation of these, you know, Colorado athletes. And we just think that Colorado athletes in general get pretty overlooked because we're not a quote unquote football state, or whatever they want to say. But there's plenty of talent right here in the Rockies. And, you know, I think you guys searching for your chance, you're going to get your chance, and you guys are going to prove your worth as long as you get on the field on that next level. And if you believe in yourselves, then we believe in you too. You know, you guys are legit. We watched a lot of cornerback film, both of, you know, college guys between last year and this year, and just seeing some of the other corners. And it's just been tough in general, I think, for corners in this state. You know, you look at the rest of our list, and most of the guys are getting preferred walk-ons, not even scholarship opportunities at a lot of these other schools. So, you know, just stay on your grind and keep reaching out. You guys will get that shot, because, you know, they're.
Can I say one thing about that though?
About PWOs, or just in Colorado?
Yeah, just about that. You know, a lot of this too is COVID. When I say COVID has messed so much up, you know, with recruiting, it really has. And just one thing, you know, with me, it's like, and probably CJ too, it's like you go to these camps. Like I went to South Dakota State, they were just in the FCS semifinals against Minot State. The coaches are sitting there like, bro, like we want to offer you, but we don't know who's coming back, who's leaving, and stuff like that. And I just got off the phone with the coach yesterday. He's like, yeah, bro, the only reason we not offering you is because we ended up over recruiting. So a lot of these, big time FCS schools, FBS schools, a lot of these FCS schools, y'all look at it, they're going to get a lot of kids that could be Power 5 because these Power 5s have over recruited, and these kids are Division I athletes. So they're going to end up falling at these FCS schools because the FBS is over recruiting the FCS. They get in these talent and they are just hungry for it. They haven't seen it because they're not at the FBS level. So it's like, and then the D2 level, they're going to get filled with a lot of talent. And, JUCO, D3 too. So, just looking at it too, like COVID has messed up roster spots. You get a lot of kids that are coming back for a 6 year. Like, that's just crazy to have kids come back for 6 years. So, that too is just messing up a lot. So, yeah, I just wanted to add that in about, COVID and roster.
No, that's a great point to bring up. And Simon and I, we actually went to a workout with an athlete success coach. And there are a couple of guys working out there who just stayed home this year because, it's like, we don't have a scholarship for you this year. We got one for you next year, which is crazy because it's even happening, like you said, on those higher levels. One of those guys was an SMU guy, and, he's just waiting on that kind of like that spot, so to speak, to be open. And you said, the eligibility, this is something that, recruits need to consider. And Simon and I talked about it, just sprinkled throughout like our request episodes, especially your guys' class of 22 and then, 23, 24. It's going to take a couple of years to work itself out. So you almost have to send more messages, make more film, do more like off-season workout stuff and post it. Simon, I saw you unmuted. Did you want to chip in there?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to that. I know it's been a really long time since we've talked about that situation, but we talked about it kind of in the off season, and I know we've gained a couple more fans since then. Look, I'm just going to be real. We have a friend who's a college coach right now, and he told us straight up we have maybe for this year, as in 2021, 2022, this class, he said we have maybe 2 or 3 spots. 2 or 3, and that's on the NAIA level. For D1, that's probably a little bit tighter. I know for some colleges it might be a little bit different and whatnot. And obviously you don't want to – I could imagine if you're a college program, you don't want to get to the point where it's like, hey, man, senior, like 5th year, 6th year senior, when you go leave, because that's never a good idea. And so, look, spots everywhere is tough, and that's reality. That's just COVID. And obviously before that, to make it to the next level, it's tough. But even now, it's tough as well. And so really all I got to say, it comes down to how much you trust yourself, how much you're willing to sacrifice for it. Because, it's a tough conversation to have. But, I think it's definitely something worth having, like you said. It comes down to that sometimes. But, everything works out. If it's meant to work out, it'll work out. Yeah. If you're talented enough, coaches will find you. And, if a coach doesn't want to recruit you and whatnot, or maybe if they can't recruit you, then, you'll find a way to get it done regardless, And so it's a tough situation. It's about being mentally tough right now, if I'm just being completely honest with you. And so that's all I wanted to kind of interject here, just because I know it's tough out there. You've seen both sides, from the recruiting side and from the coach's side, and it's not the greatest. Like, I'm just going to be real. So, yeah.
Yeah, and even with that, I just want to add one more thing, and we're going to get off the topic of recruiting, just because, recruiting just been on my mind so much lately. But a lot of these teams out here are going to, at D2 level, even like D1, FBS, FCS, a lot of these teams are building their teams off the transfer portal. If y'all go look how many kids are in the transfer portal, it's ridiculous. Like, that's just taking away from scholarship from, high school kids. Like, why should I go take this high school kid that I'm going to have to nurture, build to the college life, nurture them into being a college athlete? It's different. It's a different world than being in high school. So, I go get this kid out the transfer portal. He got, 3-4 years of eligibility left. I can have this kid playing by, fall. So I'm gonna go get this kid over this high school kid. So, the transfer portal too. So, if I'm going to just say one more thing, piece of advice, if you a kid, you got to stay humble. You got to stay working. There can't be an off day for you. If you're trying to get to the next level, you got to be somewhere doing something every day. So that's just one piece of advice, because there's another kid out there working just as hard as you for that spot. You're not the only one. So, just stay humble, stay hungry, and that's, yeah.
All good things to bring up, and we appreciate the conversation. It's a dialogue that needs to happen, and seeing all perspectives of it for sure, just as far as what recruiting looks like and whatnot. But, there's options, and like Jayden said, stay working, stay humble. But, at the end of the day, too, don't let it be, live or die by football. You could always try walking on somewhere, or, just going and getting an education wherever the opportunity is best. If you have a bigger scholarship for grades at one school than you do getting like a partial scholarship for football at one school too, just weigh your options. And like Jayden said, talk to your family, seek that, next level advice to figure that out. But, talking about, we kind of covered this recruiting thing here. Now we're kind of getting towards the end of the interview and maybe the more sentimental and personal part of the interview. But, we know that y'all have had a teammate, you guys mentioned him earlier in this interview, who's been battling some things over the holidays. And we just want to ask if you guys mind talking about him, his situation, and ways that PMC fam and listeners can help.
Yeah, Miles McClarity, he's a strong person I know. He's very quiet though. He doesn't talk as much as everybody else on the team, but we know he's always there. He's a person that we love deeply, and we know that he's going to get through it. I pray about it every night and make sure that he's okay. I pray a lot about it. But Miles, he's a strong person. I know he's going to get through it. I know he has everybody in the school, and especially on the team, working with it. We always send him note cards. We always post it on our story and make sure he knows that we got him. But Miles, he's a special person to everybody on the team. He's always there for somebody. Even when, if you need a hug, he's always there. He's always going to check up on you. Doesn't matter what situation you're in. He's a great person, and I love him so much. That's my dog.
Yeah, just going off what CJ said, before we talk about Mount, I just think this shows, athletes think that sometimes, they got this made, and, this just shows that, this stuff could get taken from you in a heartbeat. Just like that, your football, love, dreams, passions could be just taken from you like that. So, go hard as much as you can. And, Miles, that's just one thing he did, practice, sometimes, we all have our days at practice, but, Miles is always going to go hard, on the field, he's going to go hard. And, one thing about Miles is, we didn't know that, at the Montrose game that he had what he had, if that's when it started. I don't know yet, but, that game, you could just tell something was off with the whole team, but especially with Miles. And, him being my other safety, I'm extra hard on every single DB, but, my safeties, I'm extra hard on them. So I'm just extra hard on him that game. That's something I had to look at myself. Sometimes you don't got to be so hard on people when they having bad days. And, that was just something that just stuck with me, what if, he was gone and, stuff like that. And, what would his last memory of me be? We at the Montrose game and, Jayden is just grilling me and, I can't play because, I came down with leukemia. But, one thing about, Miles is, he's not going to take no plays off. He's a humble kid. He stays in the church. That's one thing about him. He stays in the church. So, he got a loving family. His family is like mine. So, Miles, I feel bad every day, what if that was me, so yeah, it's a touchy subject though, but we love Miles. And I think you asked, how was your help? He's back at home now. He's good. He's walking around. I was talking to his sister and they should be starting, the treatment soon. I think it's called chemo. If I'm right, I don't know too much about, cancer and stuff like that, but he should be starting his chemo soon if they don't find any more, cells of the leukemia. So, he's a fighter though, and I just pray to God every day, that they let him have his, his senior year. That senior year is, that's something special that you hold to your heart for forever. So I just hope that he gets to play that senior year.
Yeah, we obviously hope the same, and you guys know. We DM'd you as soon as we found out about everything, and Miles, we're in his corner. We're in your guys' corner. And, I just want to thank you guys for, just this interview, how real you guys have been the whole time and your vulnerability. It's very hard and to talk about a lot of these things, but you guys are very mature, just in general. And I speak for Simon too, I'm assuming, when I say we have a ton of respect and love for you guys. Obviously it's fun watching your guys' film, fun watching your guys' game and all of that stuff. But now really getting to know you, I could say that it's a huge pleasure to have you guys on the show just in general. And we have a lot of love for you guys too. And, now that we're kind of getting towards the end of this interview, we just want to give you guys some time to shout out anyone who's been important to your academic or athletic career. This could be friends, family, coaches, fellow players alike. Just however much space you guys need to express your gratitude, because, I'm very grateful for you guys and anyone who's been a part of your guys' life to, help share this moment with Simon and I. They're also important to us as well. So whoever you guys want to shout out here and however you want to shout them out, go for it.
Truly, I have to say my family first and foremost. But I'm sorry, I have to thank God. He's the only reason I'm here. He's the only reason I'm in this place. God and Jesus. That's first and foremost. Family, dad, mom, and sister. They always pushed me hard, even when I was young. They always made sure I kept my grades up. I keep working out every day. I keep just had that right mentality that I'm gonna do something in life, gonna make it. And then I got to give it up to Jarvis, one of my trainers. He helped me get to this corner. He helped me make me be a better person. And my other trainer, Coach Will, and the coaches I had, Pee Wee, all of them coaches, they really helped me a lot. But truly, I have had a lot of people that helped me get here where I am. But most likely me. I got to give it to me. I always say, CJ, get up. You got to work harder every day. You got to make sure that you want to be the best person and keep pushing. It's your dream. Make sure it comes true. But my family, God, Jesus, and my trainers, they're the reason I'm here every day. I just keep pushing hard till I make it.
Yeah, like CJ said, first and foremost, giving honor to God, I would be nothing, for him. And, the things that I have right now and I'm blessed with is all because of him. And, then my parents, second, I haven't always been a great child. CJ probably knows, my story, but, I haven't always been, the best child to them. And, I just thank them, that they're still here for me. A lot of parents, doing what I've done, a lot of kids, would have, went on their way and, been in the streets, and lived a different lifestyle. But my parents, always stuck on me. So I thank them, I thank God for them. And then, like CJ mentioned, our trainer Jarvis, I've been training with him for like some years now. So that's basically my aunt to me. So there was, when COVID all happened, I was with him on the field like 2 times a day. So, sometimes he doesn't even charge you for his training. So that just shows, how real he is. And, just to give him a shout out on Instagram, if y'all look it up, it should be, his name, Jarvis Harrod. If y'all look it up, and then it should be under I'm Possible PT. So if y'all look him up, and there's on the I'm Possible, there's a, underscore in between the I and M. So if y'all look him up, he's in the Colorado Springs area, training kids, training grown-ups. I know he does a lot of programs for grown-ups too. So, give a shout out to him, and then, give a shout out to all the coaches at Fountain. I love them. They took me in like family. So, just giving them, they respect and they dues. But also, giving a shout out to my boy CJ, my whole team at Fountain. I love y'all. Sometimes we got some bad blood with each other, but, they know I love all them boys down there. I see everything, I always tell them, like, if I'm extra hard on you, it's because I see something in you, and I don't want you to, let your talent just go to waste. So, giving a shout out to all my boys down there at Fountain, and then, if y'all don't know about us, come down to Fountain, see what we're really about before y'all get on the net and start talking about us. Even if you think we overrated, man, I'm never scared. We can go to the field. We can run the one-on-ones, do what we got to do to see if I'm really overrated. A lot of these kids, I'm going to go ahead and talk my little piece. A lot of these kids wouldn't have a lot of these offers if it wasn't for their parents or, a lot of these, recruiting centers that they go to. they wouldn't have a lot of that offers, because I've seen a lot of these kids at these camps, and they out here fumbling on drills and stuff like that, and you get to talking about how good you are, but let's really see if you really like that. But once again, just giving praise to the Most High. I love my Lord and Savior, and I thank y'all too for having me on here. So yeah, appreciate y'all.
Oh, I want to steer the pot right now. I kind of do. Kodey, I can't hear you, Kodey. I don't know what's going on, bro.
Oh, I was about to say, I also want to, there is a name that jumped to my mind for sure, who's definitely overhyped and over-recruited.
We literally talked about this last week. We literally talked about it. Like, can this dude beat any of the Fountain Fort-Carson boys? Answer's no.
The answer's no.
We don't. Should we? Hey, I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna just say this. Hey,
talking about.
Hey. Well, we can talk about it. We can talk about it offline. But I'm gonna say this, like, on the record right here. And I can't say this because I graduated from there. But Northern Colorado, Kodey graduated from Northern Colorado too. Y'all gotta start paying better attention, especially Southside. They don't give any Southside kids any sort of love, which is wild because it's Colorado. McCaffrey loves his Denver boys. That's fine.
Like 2-8, so.
Yeah, he loves his Denver boys, but he ain't about that life when it comes Southside. So that's all I'm gonna say there, But hey, some Fountain Fort-Carson boys, some toughness in that UNC secondary could have prevented us from getting rocked in the Big Sky, which is arguably the best FCS program or conference out there. But that's all I'm going to say now. We could talk about it offline for sure. But I had to say that. I had to say that because I really feel you on that because I know what Fountain's all about. Knowing homies from there and, being – well, I'm still in the Springs, but, being knowing some dudes over there, and I rock with it. Personally, I rock with it. So – no, I like it for sure. But all right, boys, we really appreciate y'all coming on to the show, man. Giving us a lot of insight and really putting on Fountain Fort-Carson and what y'all do over there. Legitimately, I think y'all are one of the best programs in the entire state. And it's only a matter of time before y'all get that ring. But, hey, I just wanted to say thank you to both of y'all for coming on to the show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank y'all for having us.
Yeah, thank y'all for having us. For real, we appreciate it.
Hey, absolutely, man. And, we're always rooting for y'all, and we got y'all whenever. But, that'll wrap up this episode of the Playmakers Corner podcast. Make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Playmakers Corner. Also, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll probably be doing some streaming stuff and posting some extra content there. And if you are listening to us on a major streaming platform, that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, go ahead and give us a good rating. I know on Spotify you could give ratings now, not written reviews yet, but you can give ratings. So go ahead and show us some love there. On Apple Podcasts, same thing. And then, write good stuff over there. We'll probably do a reading of those eventually. But thank you so much, and we'll catch y'all later.